So, Chris, it's good to see you here at the Voices and Choices. And even though I see you're missing an H on your sign, I also see down there a thing that says award winner. What's that all about?
Oh, Ed, one of the greatest honors of my life, I believe. The folks here at GMSA, St. Albans, have elected me their Ally of the Year. And I'm tremendously honored by this.
Oh, that is great. That's a great thing. I always love the energy, and you just contributed to it.
Thanks so much. It's a lot of fun. The people are great. I absolutely love it.
Good. What kind of challenges do you see ahead?
Oh boy, all kinds of challenges. Changing world, a lot of different lifestyles going on. Some folks out in different areas are making some poor lifestyle changes, and that can affect people kind of in a ripple effect, even if they're not making the choices poorly themselves. Someone who maybe in their family or in their surrounding circle might be. And that can ripple out and affect quite a few people. So I'm very concerned about people's choices. We need to make good choices, I believe.
Yeah. Do you think, is the system going in a direction that is lessening choices, or do you see the system as being pretty stable?
I think the system is pretty stable. It's just lifestyle as a whole out there in the whole wide world. So many different things now. Media, we learn things so quickly. They come at us, it seems, from every angle. We wake up, take a look at our iPhones, and log on to Facebook, and we read and see things that we didn't have access to before as much. And so there's a lot more coming at us a lot faster.
Yeah. Do you think, well, I always think of isolation as being one of the biggest challenges, especially in rural parts of the state, such as where you're working. Mm-hmm. Do you also think that the drug situation is an issue? Is that
once again, poor choices by some people. There are drugs out there for sure. I'm actually very happy to be doing some work this year in some of the rehab and anti-addiction centers, and looking for some very positive things there. Different treatments, different ways to go about getting people off of some of those terribly addicting drugs that we have out there today.
Do you see it as an issue particularly with the self-advocacy community?
No. It's a statewide, nationwide, probably worldwide.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks for sitting down and visiting with me.
Ed, absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for all you do. You take care now.
All right. Have a good one. So, Josh, how are you doing this morning?
Good.
What's anything new in your life?
Been working.
You've been working. What kind of work do you do?
I take care of elderly.
Is that right?
Yeah, one elderly person.
So you're helping this person out?
Yeah, with her cat boxes.
I'll be darned. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you like being employed?
Yeah.
Good. Brings in a little.
To get little dough.
A little bit of dough is always a good thing to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To buy things.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you like to buy?
Games.
Games? Yeah. Computer games or?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm into
boy.
computer games.
You're way ahead of me. I don't know anything about the computer game stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And hats.
oh, and that's a nice looking hat you got there.
My friend gave it to me because he forgot to give it to me at camp, so
Oh yeah.
he saw me the other day and gave it to me.
Yeah. So getting a job was a pretty big deal for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You think everybody ought to have that opportunity?
Yeah.
I think that's great to hear, Josh.
That's how you get money and be employed.
Great, yeah. So what other big things are going on for you? Like what Disability Rights Vermont, we do work, and is there something we should be thinking about for helping people?
Make sure that they can work.
Okay.
Find a job.
So keeping the idea of employment up is good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Josh, it is great to hear that you got a job that's bringing you in a little bit of cash, and it sounds like you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, and I want to do more than that one job.
Yes. Yeah, good. Hey, that's good. It's great to see you this morning.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you.
Good. So you're here at this conference,
It's my first time here.
it's your first time here. Oh, I think you're going to find it pretty exciting.
I lived in New York all my life.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So when you
I was
moved,
evicted from my apartment.
so do you live in your own apartment?
I live with somebody in Williamstown.
In what town?
Williamstown on
Oh.
a horse farm.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That sounds great. So is it pretty independent?
I'm on my own. I help around the house. I try to clean up.
Oh, that's great. So as a person who comes here who's a self-advocate, what kinds of things are most important for you?
Start a business of my own.
You'd like to do that.
Which is a person who with special needs can't run a business.
So what kind of business would you like to run?
Sports cards, comic books, stuff like that.
Oh, no kidding. Yep, yep.
I'm tired of people telling me, oh, you can't run a business. You don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, no. There's ways to learn, aren't there?
Yes, there is.
Yep. Well, that sounds good. Do you have a connection with a service agency?
Washington County.
Okay. Now, are they helping you
They're
figure
helping
out?
me a bit. They just said it takes time.
Yeah. Do you, in the meantime, do you have other kind of employment?
No, but I'm 60 years old. Would you hire a 60-year-old?
That's a good question. That's a good
I'd
question.
rather run a business than eventually I'd be retiring, so
Yeah.
having a business is easier. I can be my own boss.
That would be great to be your own boss, wouldn't it?
I can fire myself.
That's good. Yeah. So, for an organization like mine, I work for Disability Rights Vermont, and we advocate for people. What kind of things do you think we should be advocating for?
Like starting a business?
Okay, so we should be paying attention to that kind of thing,
Right.
to opportunities for people.
Just because you have a learning problem doesn't mean you can't run a business.
I agree with you. Yeah, I've met people who had pretty successful things going. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's going to be a big store. I could share a space with somebody.
I see. Yeah.
I have a friend of mine. He lives in Montpelier. A TV show. His name is Lawrence Tyler.
I think I've met him. Yeah.
I friended him from New York also.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So somebody from your home base.
I know somebody else who lives in New York. She lives in Montpelier.
Okay.
We're friends 25 years.
Great. Well, hey, listen, thanks for stopping. Thanks for talking with me.
My pleasure.
Good morning, Kathy.
Hey,
How are you doing today?
good.
Good. I see you like Boston. Yeah, that's
Boston
good.
Red Sox.
All right, that's great. Hey, listen, I see on your thing that it says you're a presenter.
Yeah.
What are you going to be presenting about today?
How to cope with grieving.
Oh, is that right? Is that something that's been something you've had to face personally?
Yeah. We lost one of our best friends last year.
Oh,
He
boy.
passed away, so I decided to do a class on grieving.
Wow. Well, that's pretty brave of you. And I think that's something that people need to hear. Because all of us face losses at one time or another.
Yeah.
On the positive side of things, what are the kinds of things you like to do?
Sports and go to bingo.
Sports and bingo, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
My organization is an organization for advocacy, Disability Rights Vermont.
I do that.
You do advocacy?
Yeah. We have like meetings and stuff that we go to.
Yeah. Green Mountain Self Advocates?
Memorial. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in Lamoille. So what are there big needs that you think that advocates need to be thinking about?
I think they should have more support, especially with people that have autism.
People with autism need more support? Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. And you see that up in Lamoille County?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you for sitting down and happy to talk with you. Claire McFadden, it's great to have you sitting down with us, the Director of Developmental Services in the Department of Disabilities, Aging, and Independent Living. This is a wonderful thing, and I don't want to keep you away from the most fun, which I think is running into folks and visiting with people. But I would like to just ask you if you could give us a little idea of what you think some of the bigger challenges that the department is facing.
Sure. So the biggest thing that we're working on right now is the payment reform, and it's a huge project where we're trying to figure out a different way of paying for services that will take us into the future in a sustainable way and make sure that we're using our money in an accountable fashion so that we're getting good value for our dollars. We're like a year into this project, and there's many components of the project, and it's involving a lot of people and a lot of people's time, and it'll probably take us a couple more years to get to the final product, and that make sure that it works for people receiving services, that we're supporting the agencies to do the work that they need to do, and that it works for the state and fulfilling all of our commitments to the state and federal governments. So that's the number one giant project that we're working on right now, and it may be like the biggest change in the way we're doing services, and since the closing of Drainage.
Wow.
So
I understand that some of this, I think, came from questions about accountability that were raised a few years back, and from where I sit, there's a concern that in going to a system that is, quote, more accountable, that we may lose some of the flexibility of meeting people's individual needs, which is kind of the spirit that our system was set up under.
Right. So our intent in the project is to preserve all the really positive things that we have in our system, like individualized services, flexibility, preserving choice, making sure we're person-centered in the ways that services are delivered to people. So we have a set of criteria that includes all those really positive things that we have in our system, so that we have to balance out the need to make sure that we're being accountable for the dollars with preserving all the positive parts of the system that we already have. We do great things in Vermont. We have like the highest rate of employment for people with disabilities in the country. And we have very individualized services compared to other places in the country. All those things we want to make sure we keep, while at the same time coming up with ways to make sure that we're being accountable.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that you've got those sort of at the heart of things, because I think that's been really important to the folks that I've spoken with. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you, Sean.
Yes,
How do you like the conference so far?
I like it. You learn a lot and you meet different people and
Great, that's good. So what kind of issues are important to you as a self-advocate?
to make the right decisions,
Okay. What kinds of decisions?
like how to manage stuff like
Oh.
money
Oh, managing money is tricky, isn't it?
and making the right decisions.
Sure. Do you make your own decisions about things like where you live and that kind of thing?
Yes, I do.
You do? Do you live
I live with a family.
with a family? And how's that working out for you?
Wonderful.
Is that good? Oh, that's great to hear.
Yes.
And do you spend a lot of time in the house, or do you get out in the
I
community?
do like gardening and walking.
That's nice. All right. What kind of things you like to grow in your garden?
Cucumbers, radishes, lettuce,
Oh, that's great. Sounds good.
tomatoes.
Yep. A lot of good salad stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Do you work outside of your home?
I do. I work in a grocery store.
And do you work in the vegetable section? No?
Front end service.
Oh, front end service, did you say?
Yeah, Hannaford's.
Oh, very good. And you like working?
I do.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of cash, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there 6 years.
6 years. Very good. And so do you feel that that gives you a little bit extra freedom?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, that's great. Do you like the people who come
I
shopping?
do.
Great. Are
It's
people...
a community.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
you greet and meet everybody, and
Oh, that's wonderful. And so, is there, the organization that I work for does advocacy for people with disabilities. Is there something that we should be thinking about? What do you think people need from folks like us?
more support.
More supports? Do you think you're from your mental health agency or developmental services agency?
From individually people.
So you need more individual support.
Yeah,
Ah.
I don't, but I know some other people might.
Some of your other friends and things who
Yeah.
are self-advocates, and they don't always get the individual support they need?
They don't get, you don't make the right, if you don't make the right decisions, it could be sometimes hard to make the right decisions. Or,
I gotcha. And it sounds to me like you've thought a lot about making decisions.
oh yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much, Sean.
you.
Hey, Chuck, how are you doing this morning?
Not bad. A little bit tired, but other than that, it's doing really good.
A little bit tired, eh? Well, you probably had a big night last night. A
Yep.
lot of people had a lot of fun, I'm sure.
Yes.
So I understand that you're in a different living situation than
Yeah.
you used to be.
Last year I moved out of the Commons, and I'm staying with a home provider in East Middlebury now, right down the road from my parents.
Oh, that's great. Do you like that?
Yes, right now I've lost like 43 pounds.
43 pounds you've lost. That's great. Now, are you, do you find what do you like about it most? Is it that you have...
Well, my eating habits, and I used to drink a lot of soda now. I don't drink as serious a lot of soda anymore.
Oh, okay, that's good. And does it give you more freedom to be
Yeah,
a home
'cause-
provider?
Yeah, because right now I gotta tell them where I'm going, and if I don't show up, they'll come looking for me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. So you lost a lot of weight. It sounds like healthy living is part of the situation.
Yep.
And are they helping you to keep track of that kind of thing?
Yep.
Do you still have a lot of contact with the agency? Do they help you out too?
Actually, I do every Wednesday and Thursday. I have people that help me out with services.
Okay, good. All right, Tim. Hey, listen, Tim, I just want to say hello. And I noticed, and you pointed out that you're a presenter today.
Yep.
And can you tell us a little bit about what you're presenting about?
Well, living on my own, pretty much I figured, I was actually asked by Randy to present this year, and I didn't actually think long. It only took me about 5 minutes to think about something to present, and I figured with a lot of new young people coming in to actually talk about what it's like living on your own, and because I had a roommate once, and that didn't go so well. I almost got evicted once from one of my apartments years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so just keeping up with things, learning things in the community. If this happens, what do you do? In fact, the most hardest thing is the place I'm living in now because of my neighbor. We've had to call the cops numerous times on him. So it's something
that's
that I
too
wanna-
bad.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's something that I want to get across. So when do you call the cops? When do you call the landlords? When can you deal with it yourself?
Yeah.
Just to help people.
So it sounds like there's some challenges to living on your own.
No, there's plenty of challenges. So,
Yeah.
and you just, you got to get through them, and it's just like doing homework, really. You just got to get through one page at a time.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. So if those are the challenges, what are the biggest joys of it? How come you want to keep doing it?
Well, I love living on my own, making my own choices, being able to come home, after a hard day's work, from work, or, after, I love playing card games, so after being down at the game store for hours playing card games and then coming home to relax after, because it does get exhausting, but
Sure.
it's fun, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Of course, work's very exhausting, because
What kind of work do you do?
I work at Middlebury College. So
Oh, really?
I work dish room, servery, and when I'm needed down in pot sink. So.
Yep. Now, do you have a connection with the Developmental Services Agency, or or are you pretty independent?
Well, I'm pretty independent. I do have help if I need it, but I very rarely need any help. So I'm pretty self-sufficient on my own. Maybe like some paperwork every now and then I need help with, but
Oh, yeah.
most things I know. So
Yeah.
I've done paperwork so many years. So
So-
but there's something that comes up that I'm not sure. I do have somebody to call.
So it sounds like you might be an advocate for independent living.
Yes, I am.
Well, listen, Tim, let me ask you a question. My organization does advocacy for people with disabilities. What do you think we should be aware of? What is that people might need help with?
There's a lot of issues, you know, it depends on the individual. I know when I first came out, without some of the help that I wouldn't have had, you know, I could have fallen, I could have been a prisoner at the point in time, I could have been dead because of some of my choices, you know, so there's a lot of things that, you know, but each individual is different.
Yeah, you know, you're the second person who sat down with us and talked about the importance of getting help making choices.
Yeah.
And I get the impression that people don't want other people to make choices for them,
No.
but they want help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody needs help every now and then, no matter who we are. You know.
I sure do.
So yeah, I know my mom. My mom's actually vertically challenged, so she has. So every time I'm out with her and there's something on a high shelf, she's always asking me to get it.
Oh,
So,
sure.
You know, so we all need help sometimes. So
We
that's,
all need help.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck with your
Yeah.
presentation.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming to speak
Yeah.
with us.
Yep. Have a good day.
You too.